Hi, my name is Amy Gonzalez. I'm the Children's Director here at West Valley Christian Church. Today is Tuesday of Holy Week, the week leading up to Easter. Yesterday, we read about Jesus cleansing the temple. In those actions, Jesus was a threat to Jewish leaders and Jewish authority of that time. Today, we read about how those Jewish leaders attempted to call out Jesus. But Jesus, in true Jesus fashion, flipped the tables back onto them. In Matthew chapter 21, verse 23, it says, Jesus entered the temple courts, and while he was teaching, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him. By what authority are you doing these things, they asked, and who gave you this authority? Jesus replied, I will also ask you one question. If you answer me, I will tell you by what authority I am doing these things. John's baptism, where did it come from? Was it from heaven or from human origin? They discussed it amongst themselves and said, well, if we say from heaven, he'll ask, then why didn't you believe him? But if we say of human origin, we are afraid of the people, for they all hold that John was a prophet. Jesus goes on to tell some parables, or stories used to illustrate truth. The first of these parables is the parable of the two sons. What do you think? There was a man who had two sons. He went to the first and said, Son, go and work today in the vineyard. I will not, he answered. But later he changed his mind and went. Then the father went to the other son and said the same thing. He answered, I will, sir, but he did not go. Which of these two did what his father wanted? The first, they answered. The second parable, the parable of the tenants, says, listen to another parable. There was a landowner who planted a vineyard. He put a wall around it, dug a winepress in it, and built a watchtower. Then he rented the vineyard to some farmers and moved to another place. When the harvest time approached, he sent his servants to the tenants to collect his fruit. The tenants seized his servants. They beat one, killed another, and stoned the third. Then he sent other servants to them, more than the first time, and the tenants treated them the same way. Last of all, he sent his son to them. They will respect my son, he said. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to each other, this is the heir. Come, let's kill him and take his inheritance. So they took him and they threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he choose to do to those tenants? He will bring those wretches to a wretched end, they replied, and he will rent the vineyard to other tenants, who will give him his share of the crop at harvest time. He was calling them out for not being good stewards of the things that he had trusted them with. God sent prophets, including John the Baptist, to pave the way for Jesus' coming. But these Pharisees and religious leaders cared more about holding on to what they had at all costs. This, in the end, would cost them everything. Jesus said, therefore I tell you that the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people who will produce its fruit. In verse 45, it says, when the chief priests and the Pharisees heard Jesus' parables, they knew he was talking about them. The dangers today of stories like this is to believe that these stories only exist for these Pharisees and these religious leaders. I don't know about you, but I myself can easily fall into the trap of saying the right things, but finding all the right excuses to not do the right things. We are all tenants of God's kingdom. He is calling us to be good stewards of the kingdom that he has entrusted us with, to bear fruit and to use our gifts to further his message of hope. It is my encouragement to you today to ask God to illuminate those parts in your life where you're falling into those traps that I so easily fall into. Ask God to show you where you need to be less like the Pharisees and more like Jesus. Thank you for joining us again today on Tuesday of Holy Week. I hope that you will continue to check in with us each day as we lead up to Easter. We here are praying for you in this time. Have a great week.